Welcome to this alignment oracle. My name is Bree. I'm going to be our conduit today, our facilitator today. I'm just going to share that yesterday I learned that there was a rule on TikTok that kids under the age of 13 can't be on a live, and that is a rule that does make sense to me. But my son popped into the live yesterday and it kicked me out. And anyone that was there for that, I just wanted to let you know that I learned that that's a rule. And I never really considered having my kids on anything that I do for my business. I barely even post things about them on my personal pages, but they've been getting really excited and inspired to do creations of their own. So I've been letting them kind of like play around with making videos, and they're having so much fun with it. So I'm not exactly sure why I'm sharing that, but it does feel important that I share that my role as a mother here on this planet is very important to me. It's something that I value and I'm so grateful for. I love my kids so much. Okay, we're not going to cry today. We're just going to do an oracle fun. But I've got a few decks here. I've got the Angels, the Lemurian Star Child, and then the Dragons. Some comments are being blocked. And then I also want to share, just because it feels like you're all in my community, that I did an interview yesterday. His name is Corey. His page is Founders of Love. We had a really beautiful conversation, but then I realized afterwards that I didn't use the right microphone. So these things happen. We're all human. It was still a fantastic interview. And that I think is coming out today. I think. Pretty sure. I'll try to repost it on my YouTube. How's everyone doing today? How is everyone feeling today? What's present for you right now? Are you sensing anything in the field today that's fair? Okay. Okay. I'm not gonna lie to you all. I feel like ever since those feels messy. Interesting. A little tired, but managing. Okay. So what my guides are presenting in my consciousness right now is that they want me to explain. So we had these collective timeline shifts that were, I don't know, last week, maybe the week before. But we had these 2 or 3. I channeled on this on my YouTube. I don't remember what it's called, guys. I don't remember what it's called. But we had these collective timeline shifts that were so significant that they were basically guaranteed to create Mandela effects. And they're also basically guaranteed to have us feeling, at least for like little pockets of time, as though we're in liminal space. It's almost like how do I describe this? It's kind of a feeling of like, whoa. It's like a whoa, what is real kind of feeling. Because these collective timeline shifts, we basically, what they're showing me is it has to do with earth contracts. So contracts that Mama Gaia has to assist us as a humanity. So yeah, it's a little weird. I never really saw it from that angle. But what they're showing me is right now, we're all like stabilizing again from those shifts. So they're showing me that that energy after a shift can be, we talk about this a lot here, like with waveforms, where right after the timeline shifts, it's like kind of like this. It's like it feels a little bit rocky. It feels a little bit unpredictable. It feels a little bit, you could even feel kind of like uneasy after a collective timeline shift, because all of you that are here, you're all doing your own work. I don't feel that anyone that is attracted to me is not doing their own work. And so when you're doing your own work, you're going to feel a lot going on, and it's yours, right? Like that's your work that you're working through. But when we do something like a collective timeline jump, you are not the only one. Everyone around you and everyone on the planet is going to be experiencing some effects. I'm not saying that they're going to be the same effects. My clients have been coming to me this week with a lot of different like body pain, aches, things that are new, things that, and I have too. I've had different parts of my body that I know I'm not exercising, but they're like hurting or achy. And they're showing me that. So we're getting to these pockets. So we have 30 trillion cells in our body. I want you to tune into that for a second. Just think about that for a second. Imagine if you had 30 trillion people in your space right now, all staring at you, waiting for your guidance. 30 trillion people standing in this room with you, looking to you as the parent, waiting for you to tell them direction. So the reason that they're bringing this up, and by they, I have the High Council of Light in my consciousness today, and then we have some Akashic Records keepers and Mayan timekeepers. So what they're helping us do is understand that we have so many resources in these bodies. This is organic technology, these bodies that we're in. And we're the one that has to tell these bodies what's going on. So my guides are showing me what I'm always showing up to help us do is unify the field. We're unifying this field. These 30 trillion cells they're not all children. We don't have 30 trillion children that we have to steward and think about it in a human context. That would be a lot. That'd be a lot. But it's more so about how can I unify? How can I be the leader of this body that maybe I never had? And then also know that those 30 trillion cells love you. I know that sounds a little weird, but those 30 trillion cells, they love you. They see you as God. You're their God. We're going to get an angel. I'm sweating. I'm sweating a little bit because my 30 trillion cells are like, oh! How are your 30 trillion cells? We got Archangel Christine. I'm going to show it closer. Thank you, Space Debris. So what about telling our 30 trillion cells right now that they're safe? Yours need to hear I'm safe. Slow down. Thank you. Isn't she beautiful? So what she's asking me and us to do is see this beautiful rainbow-like ball in her hand of energy, of love energy, Christ light. Let's just generate a ball like that in our own consciousness, a rainbow ball of light, a crystalline ball of light. And then just imagine that you're sending this ball of light over every cell in your being, all these 30 trillion cells. Just imagine that they're just being coated in love, held in your love, held in your love. So they're also showing me too that we can go a little bit more earth on this, where we can say, they're showing me that our body is they're showing me our body is kind of our dashboard. So they're showing me that our body is telling us things all the time. And we kind of only get off alignment or get out of alignment when we start to deny parts of our body or parts of our psyche or parts of ourself, aspects of ourself. We start to identify, oh, I don't like my foot, or I don't know, I'm bringing up foot, or I don't like my knee, or oh, my knee, or they're showing me like these little things. Some of you might have knee issues because I was experiencing knee problems this week, and I don't normally, and so some of you might, I don't know, because it was none of my clients. But what they're showing me is sometimes we can build this relationship that, like, here I am as a soul, right? And then I'm seeing my knee as something that's not part of me. And so I'm like mad at my knee because it's like hurting. And that's actually creating more of the issue. So, knees for you, Merrick. So it's what the guides are reminding us of is we need to send love to all these parts. We need to tell them they're accepted. So even things like pain, when it shows up, if we can release and understand, okay, what are you trying to tell me, pain? What are you communicating? Do you need something of me? So what they're showing me is the old earth patterning. What we would do is, they're showing me like lots of like medicines and things. Like we would basically just have any kind of pain and we would just be like, I want to make it go away. Or I want to ignore it. And I definitely used to do this. But this is a very, very tricky energetic. So definitely run it through your own intuitive awareness. And, because what they're showing me is that there's a difference between habitual pain and they're showing me ascension pain or ascension symptoms. Ascension symptoms and ascension pain, if we're conscious and aware and loving and present with whatever is going on when it comes to ascension symptoms, they will dissipate quickly. Now, when it comes to something like habitual pain, they're saying that's different. Habitual pain is definitely, it's going to have like a deeper root. And I don't want to channel on that too much right now because it's definitely not a familiar territory for me, but it feels like I said what I needed to say in that area. I'm going to do a little aura sweeping, and then we're going to go to the dragons. And my guides are also showing me lubrication. So whatever you're drinking, hopefully it's a lot of water, inform that water of what it is you'd like that water to assist you with. You can say to the water, please heal and soften my knee, or please help me release, if you have a tension headache or something. You can say, please calm and soothe my headspace. Or, you can basically, what they're showing me is, remember, water is conscious. So water is just like those 30 trillion cells in your body, sitting kind of neutral. You know, water is not bad on its own. Water is not good on its own. Although I really do think actually water is pretty good on its own. But it holds memory. And then the guides are presenting to me too that I talk about this a lot, how Mama Gaia is like our mother while we're here. And they're sharing that the people that are going to have a hard time with that concept, look at your relationship with your mother, look at your relationship with your father, look at your relationship with, they're even showing just like the feminine or masculine energies that were present with you while you were growing up, because they're showing me a lot of you need more grounding, but you're not doing it because you have a fictitious relationship with your mother connection. So you kind of feel like resistant to the earth plane. And they kind of want to break some of that up. Actively channel energy into it and explain intention with spoken word. Thank you, Joshua. Yes. Remember, it's relational. It's always relational. It's always a relationship. It's always a dialogue. They're showing me zeros and ones, and I don't really know why. I know binary, but interesting. So they're showing me in the third dimension, everything is kind of like that, zeros and ones. And we really do have the ability to see anything in any way we want to see it. I'm not going to go further there because that seems like a complicated channel. And I know it was a complicated channel because we dropped like 10 people off the transmission. That's funny. Okay, I'm going to do a dragon. I also want to share, please know that I go full out in my live Zooms and my energy healing membership. I've only done one so far, and it was really powerful. I really feel more free in my private space to just full on whatever is coming through, share it. Here, I'm like a little bit more scanning of the Akashic records, and anyone can show up here. So I'm always kind of careful and tender about what it is I'm allowing through. But if you really feel like some of the channels that I'm bringing through and you're like, oh, I really want to go deeper on that, consider joining my energy healing membership, because I'm really hoping that Zoom, we do a live Zoom the first Thursday of every month. And I'm telling you, you guys, it's something really special. It's also $11 a month, and you can try a week free. So if you're struggling with money in any type of way, I get it. I'm human. Hey, what's up? I know, me too. You could wait till like the 1st of June, sign up, and try the live. If you don't like it, that is okay. I'm definitely not here to be liked. I'm here to be a guide, a way shower, to guide us down some pathways. But I'm definitely not here to be the guru in any type of way. I'm in your membership and I'm enjoying the videos. I have not seen a live yet. Well, the next one is going to be the first Thursday of June. So real soon. I've only done one. If you guys can find any memberships where people are going live nonstop and charging you less than $11 a month, please tell me. Because I don't see it. I have done my competitive research. Not that I see any other healer as a competition with me, because I feel we're all healers. But, if you're considering my membership, just so you know, ones that are similar to mine, you're going to be spending like $200 a month. I'm not here to gouge you for money. I'm a soul on the planet, and I'm here in service. I didn't say, hey, God, I want to be a channel and help people heal. It's just, this is part of my soul. This is part of my mission. And I'm honoring that. And I'm not going to say that it's always easy. It's definitely not. I don't show up helping you all do the work and not doing the work myself. Men's recommending you join. Cool. Thank you, Jen. Jen is sharing the membership is awesome. Well, I'll tell you how I've like navigated because it feels like a lot of you are maybe business owners or considering your own business. And what I would like you to really do in doing that is because you might get like tousled around in what the market is doing. And I definitely feel in our light worker industry that we can't just be looking at the market. We got to be looking at how we feel. So, for instance, my sessions are the main session I've been offering is $144. That's for a big reason. You're getting a ton of value in that session. You're accessing your Akashic records. It's a major session. And it has a major impact on me and my body. So, what I would say is really experiment with your pricing. Because if you're charging too little, you're going to start to feel taxed. And I'm actually starting to feel that way in the energy healing membership, which I can't believe I'm sharing here, but I am. Because I pour my heart and soul in there. And sometimes I don't know if it's appreciated. But we got Royal Blue and Gold Dragon. Strengthens you to stand in your power with wisdom. Awaken to your own majesty. Wear your cloak of power with pride. So it's very interesting, this word pride, because I feel that I feel pride is very earthly. So it's like very strange for me to visit this word pride because in spirit there isn't really pride. In spirit everything is one. Everything is accepted. There isn't any how do I explain that? Is pride part of ego? I'm getting a yes and no. So they're showing me there is kind of like a soulful pride. But it feels like one of those things that we're going to experience here on the earth plane, but not once our souls have left the earth plane. I hope that does make some sense. I want to get some clarity here. They're channeling again things through me that it's like I don't have any words for what they're putting into my field. So actually, no, they're actually just sending it out. So if you want to receive these light codes that are kind of wordless and help us go maybe a layer deeper, you can just say yes. So they're showing me that the reason that we're having a hard time with the word pride is because this is what they're showing me. They're showing me that remember all words on planet Earth. They have like root words and they have, so don't forget in a quantum reality, someone observes something, they affect it. So what they're showing me is collective baggage around words. So the words like pride, it has collective baggage around it, which is why it's like it's kind of like funky to feel around. And they're showing me the same thing with the word God. The same thing with the word abundance even. They're showing me that there's all of these words that have all of these different, so they're showing me like all these different perspectives in like a 360 realm, all observing these words and putting their, whatever they think about that word or whatever their experience has been around that word, it's going to affect it. And that's why we can I definitely felt this way where I was like annoyed with words. It was like in the middle of writing my book and I was just like, I'm annoyed. I'm just done with words. Words are so not doing it for me. And I've come around in that I've come to realize that that's our communication method here. So words are important. Communication is important. Dialogue is important. But more so than the words we're saying is the energy behind the words we're saying. That's why when I'm channeling a lot, I'll say, remember, this is energy, because I'm trying to find words for something that is, it's a purer energy than the words are going to hold, because the words have been imprinted with observations that may not even match their root meaning. That's why I think that we're all kind of collectively loving things like we like Latin and why am I lacking on this word right now? It's like the original language. I can't think of it right now. What's going on? It's like referenced in the Vedic texts. Oh my gosh, why can't I think of this word? Okay, words are limited because words are limited. All right, we're gonna get a Lemurian Star Child Oracle card. Oh, I really want to think of that word. Guides, will you tell me that word? Crickets. They're being funny. They're being comical today. Sometimes I ask my guides things and I close my eyes and I go within and I literally hear the sound of crickets. And what I've come to realize is that's like my guide's way of showing me like not important right now. Sit with it longer. It's almost like they're showing me too, like schooling. Like you gotta wait till you figured out kindergarten and then you'll do first grade. And then you'll do second grade. And so some of us that are like me, where we want to skip ahead, we're like going from the kindergarten and we're like, well, we want to learn what's going to happen in grad school. And they're like, well, there's a process. You're not going to be able to process what's in grad school until you've processed some of the basics. Okay. I'm glad it resonates because it's coming in baby steps. Yeah, baby steps are highly valid. They're, yeah. And then trusting what those baby steps are and not forcing the next baby step. Okay, count it out. 7 and 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to be going about an hour today, so I'm going to probably try to stop by 9:30. Okay. I'm hearing the cards before they're seen, so I'm going to let that happen. Interesting. Okay. Flow. Showing me the statement, go with the flow. A lot of you have like irritation around that statement, and yet it's such an important energetic for us to realize sometimes. Is like they're showing me like when we're hitting that roadblock, and we're just like trying so hard. I mean, I talk about this a lot, this energetic of, know when to put it down, know when to switch gears, know when to move in a new direction. Recognize when you're moving against the flow, because when you're in alignment, everything will be in flow. So much is coming through today. Wow. Okay, 9. Release control, divine will, and oceanic consciousness. How connective is this from earlier? Okay. So they want to do a scan. So they want you to scan, preferably if you're not driving or operating machinery. But they're showing me that there's an area of your life right now that's going to stand out to you that's not in flow. So scan that area. And then they're asking us to recognize that area is made up of cells. That area is made up of consciousness. That area is made up of zeros and ones. It can be brought back to flow. It can be brought back to balance. Intend it. So they're asking you right now to whatever that area is that's not in flow. say, I intend for you to be in flow. And then let it go. I intend for this to be in flow. And then let it go. Completely let it go. Completely release it. And the Arcturians, I knew we had those intelligent, beautiful beings in here. 8, pure white light, DNA healing, sacred geometry. So who here is familiar with starseed lineages, starseed roots? Who here is aware that you're a starseed? A little. Okay. So they want me to be really grounded in how I bring this through because they're sharing that a lot. Tammy, yes. I'm assuming I am. Okay. A little bit. Okay. So, let me see. They're riffing off of the cell channeling. Sacred geometry is definitely highly connected to Metatron, Judah. I'm also being brought to Robert Edward Grant's work. Some of you might be familiar. A connecting of dots. But what they're showing me is these other star systems are just like the cells in your body. It's a part of it. We're experiencing oneness through the lens of duality here on planet Earth. But what we're moving to and through here on planet Earth is a reconnection to the multiverse. Sure, you can think it just sounds like movies you saw, but what if you can consider that some movies are there as predictive programming? Some in beneficial ways, some in not beneficial ways. But what they're showing me is that as a collective, we're going to be experiencing disclosure. I mean, it's going to continue, and it's going to be, what they're showing me as part of my mission here is to prepare us for this because it's not scary. It's not this like doomsday, horrible, like, no. We're going to get technologies on the planet that all the things we're dealing with now that in the way of struggle with clean water and the health of our bodies and the health of our minds, and we're going to get things like med beds. We're going to get things like light healing technologies that we don't even know about yet. We're going to get things that are, I mean, we're seeing scalar waves. Those are already, I would say, taking root. But basically, these star systems are not just, they're going to help fill so many gaps for us. And the Arcturians are also they're in our galaxy. They're kind of our neighbors. And they're really intelligent. Like, what I would say about the Arcturians is if you are in a line of work that includes attention to detail and things like engineering and things like architecture and things like you're basically like building like the grounded version of New Earth, you probably have some Arcturian roots. They're sharing the teleportation devices it's going to be a while. We have to have peace on Earth, like at least to a more advanced stage than we have it now. That's funny. And they're also showing me, remember, like these, how do I say this? You're always going to have like the branch offs. Like you're always going to have people that are way ahead of their game. Tesla. Okay, you're going to have people on the earth that are seeing a version of the future that no one else can see. Crystal, I agree. We're not quite there yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Hopefully in our lifetimes. I'm going to be real. I don't know if that's true, if that will happen in our lifetimes, but I think we're going to see things like med beds. I also, I'm not sure if, I think it was Japan, but they've already developed cures for the big C. There's a lot of things, okay, that we're going to be coming into awareness of. And this is what I also want to share. This is so complex. But basically, we're going to have a lot of healing to do because once these things are on the planet and they are available, there's going to be people that are angry about the times it wasn't. Like, what? You guys knew about all of this and you didn't share it with us? They're showing me like that's like going to be really big, especially in the next few years. So we're going to see a lot of people like repressed rage that these things are available, readily available, and they were suppressed. And they were kept secret and hidden and buried and pushed back and like the Vatican. I'm not going to go further here. It's too much of a rabbit hole for today. And I only have 20 more minutes and I want to keep it light. I love you all so much. Yeah. And what they're showing me about rebellion in particular is the rebellious archetype is very valuable. They're showing me the rebellious archetype and Aquarian age that we're kind of moving into. It's important. It's one of these 12 archetypes that we're all going to kind of move through the patterning of. And we can say archetypes, or we can say the constellations, or we can say the astrological signs. We can say a lot of things here, but these are just like the rebel archetype, or we can say Aquarian. We'll use Aquarian here, but they're slightly different. So what they're showing me is that this has the ability to, the rebellion archetype has the ability to see what's at play, what's commonly accepted, what everyone agrees on, and go, nah, I'm gonna go this way. So it's important because that's the energy that allows us to evolve and ascend and shift. So we all need kind of that wiggle room within ourselves to even be our own rebel. Like, hey, you've been doing everything this way. What about this? And that's how we can really start to quantum shift too, by incorporating that inner rebel and seeing what that inner rebel has to say. And then that'll combat the versions of ourselves that are very Capricornian and very this way, this way, this way, or Piscean. So Piscean's much different than Capricornian, but go with me, go with me. We're going through some space. I'm having a lot of things connect today. Wow, okay. So they're showing us to do this too, not only with the 12 archetypes of this astrological, of this universe, but, oh, that makes sense to me. I'm just connecting things from the Council of 12 and the 12 archetypes and the 12 archangels. My mind is getting some very major candy right now, and it's very nice. So let's just percolate in it for a minute. Let's percolate in this mind candy. Who here is familiar with Dolores Cannon's work? Anyone in this space familiar with Dolores Cannon's work? Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful, clearing. Activating, perhaps. So beautiful. Okay, a lot of you. Excellent. So if you're not, then it's time to start looking through her books and select one, QHHT. And it's not all, her work isn't all about past life regression. That's a part of her work. But she was very much a pioneer. She was, I talked about Tesla a little bit. She was kind of like Tesla in the way of, she was one of the first that helped us understand that we're multidimensional beings. And that time is not what we think it is. And that the future affects the now and the past affects the now. And the now is affecting the future and the past, which I know is a little trippy. But if you're familiar with Dr. Joe Dispenza's work, that'll make sense to you. I also want to share, because I feel like this is going to help land it for you guys. There's been these experiments done, simultaneous time. There's been these experiments done where they put someone through an MRI, and there's images that they present that are associated with different emotional states. And before the people that were going through this, 7 seconds before they saw the image, their brain starts lighting up in the way of that emotional pattern or what the image was there to invoke. So that shows us a lot about quantum physics. I mean, we're highly energetic beings. We're very, very adaptable beings. And I think when you go into work, like when you're exploring like maybe your psychic gifts and like the ability to predict the future, everything still is not set in stone. And you learn that very quickly. You learn there's probability, there's potentiality. Super complex channel today. Super complex. We're going to so many angles here. Wow. Okay. I was like, this is going to be light. We're just going to hang out and like talk. We're like going to quantum physics and outer space. Quantum stretch, cosmic stretching. Yes, Corey. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, man. Okay. So, this dragon standing out to me. So this is the dragon that I won at Enchanted Castle. I named her Emmy. I feel like she's a girl dragon. But what's coming up right now is how she's covering her eyes. And what they're showing me is that a lot of this stuff, we're going to be doing that. Like looking through one finger, like, am I even ready to know this stuff? And they're showing me that's like, because we've had all these veils that were so active and we're dissolving those veils. So now we can see a lot more. And so the ego's going to want to go, what is all of this? I've prepared layers to block us from this. That's hilarious. Okay. 3 and 9. 3 and 9. Is that correct? Yes. 1, 2, 3. It's exciting. 4, 8, and 9. Okay. So 2 more Lemurian Starchild Oracle cards. Let's all just take a minute, though, at this point in the transmission to just, especially if you've been here a while, give your body some intuitive movement. Maybe shake out your hands if you felt stuff in the heart. I was seeing lots of knees being healed. I have to share that. It was like I was witnessing it, kind of happening while we were talking. How is everyone feeling in the body right now? Is everyone feeling a sense of calm in the body or easement? We just kind of want to make sure if you have any spots in your body that calm for the first time in a few days. Oh, beautiful, Carrie. It is you doing it. Okay. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. They're showing me all the fields and they're just like looking so great. They're looking so great, Tammy. Okay. All right. So, clarity and thirsty. Drink water. Yeah, please drink water. Oh. I love the little ones. And they typically find a way to me too, so. Okay. Nurture. Number 11. And also, Kate, you're such a beautiful mama. I can feel your mama energy right now, and it's so amazing. Okay. Self healing, Ruby Ray, and birthing the new earth. We are doing this right now. Thank you, everyone in this space who is nurturing. Nurturing. We're nurturing ourselves. We're nurturing this earth plane. We're nurturing this experience. We're nurturing it. We're bringing in the Ruby Ray when our nervous system is feeling a little unstable. We're saying, okay, Ruby Ray, I need you up in this. Come on. Fill me with that red light that grounds me, helps me feel whole. They're showing me to maybe you experiment with bringing red up from earth and violet or purple or lavender. Or maybe you want to go with an orange up from earth. But basically, they're showing me that this, remember, you have the ability to, just like those 30 trillion cells we talked about, you can call light into them. You can call specific energies into them. Colors, textures. You can say, wow, my cells are feeling really out of touch with the earth element. I'm going to charge all of my 30 trillion cells with the earth element right now. Then I'm going to balance it with some water. I'm going to balance it with some fire. I'm going to balance it with some air. I'm going to bring all my 30 trillion cells to equilibrium. So thank you, Simone. So rubbing the hands and feet together. Yeah, the rubbing the feet together thing might look a little certain type of way, but so what? Is it making you feel nice? And so some of you might want to do that right now, since it really feels like this transmission was a hug. A really nice hug for us. As individuals and as in a collective. Okay, so we got the nurture in there. And they're showing nature and nurture. So remember that as a soul, we do come in with a lot. Then we're, depending on how we're nurtured, we can be, affected. But we always have our alignment available. This is another card. This is a card. Okay. Vision of unity. This is a perfect card to close with. Perfect card to close with. So just take a look at the sacred geometry on this card. Notice the infinity sign, the representation of the flower of life, the seed of life, the representation of unity. These are the Lemurian Star Child Oracle cards by, is it Leanne? Leanne Carpenter and Michael Kroon. Really great deck. Highly recommend if you're resonating with this transmission. This is the deck. It's really wonderful. I feel you'll really enjoy it, Crystal. So Vision of Unity. I really feel you'll all probably really like that deck. That's like one of my first decks I ever got. Like, I don't know how long ago. What is time? What is time? So number 10, focus on the light, right to see, releasing illusion, and pineal activation. We do that a lot here. If you want to get that pineal, show up here, or just intend it. You really don't. I've had so many people advise me not to say this statement, and I'm going to say it anyway. You absolutely don't need me. Everything that you're going to come here in this space and experience is you. I might be helping clean off those windows. I might be exposing you to something that you kind of like resisted or did this with, covered the eyes with. And that's the thing, Josh. My clients find for me the same thing. I'm definitely not going to hold anyone. I'm not going to be a pushy sales pitch in your life. There's plenty of those out there. You can enjoy the experience of sitting in these energies, but no, it's just, I know my spirit team and the Council of Light and Source, this all that is, I know without a shadow of a doubt that it's real. So when you come sit in my energy, that's going to assist your energy field, your 30 trillion cells of your body to remember that truth. Not discover it, not learn it, remember it. I'm not taking you somewhere that you aren't. I'm taking you back to somewhere you are. I'm helping you return to your alignment. I'm not here because I know how you align better than you. And I know I'm going to deliver this like same sort of message again and again and again, but it's important that I do because they want me to be like a little bit more human while I say this. Aren't I already human? Kind of. That was weird to say out loud, but so what they're showing me is, so when I started doing my energy healing and my training to be an EME integration coach with Mandy Morris and Oliver Nino, I was exposing myself to their energy, a few times a week for a little while. And I needed to sit in that energy, their energy, as I was opening up my gifts. But what they're showing me is I got to a point where I didn't really want an outside party anymore to be guiding me because I found my alignment. And truly, I believe that is Mandy Morris and Oliver Nino's ultimate mission, is to align us. And that's my mission. My mission is that you show up with me, and I said this at the beginning of my business, but I do want like someone to be able to come to me and only have one session and be good to go, because I don't want to be someone you're outsourcing your power to. I'm here to activate you. And then you go off and you're good. And then I'm also, if you need a little shine up or you just enjoy the space, stay as long as you enjoy the space and the energy. But also know that there may come a day where you realize, I've got this. I've got this. And really, I hope that that's how you feel after every thing that you're doing with the intention of love. You're just returning to it. My voice is clicking like crazy, so I know I'm channeling my higher self. Ever since I pointed that out on one of the lives, it's like I hear it live time now. The fun paradox. Thank you. We are all one, and we all need the fullness of what that is. So you are needed. Thank you, Justin. Yeah, so it's so paradox. The things that I would say that once you get familiar with channeling, you're going to realize that on planet Earth, it's just all paradox. It's kind of hilarious. How you find your alignment. So they're showing me through an abundance of awareness. So when you're out of alignment, you're going to feel out of your center. You're going to be feeling, what they're showing me is when you're out of alignment, you're going to be identifying whatever's going on in your life outside of you. You're going to feel it's that person or that event or that situation. And it's because they're showing me like leaning. So your head almost, or your third eye, is like stretching, leaning away from the heart, away from the alignment, away from the center. And you can also find alignment through things like play. You can find alignment through things like rest. You can find alignment through things like they're showing me moving away from whatever it is that you know is not in alignment. So you might just identify this is a no. This is not in alignment. Okay, I'm going to move in this direction. And they're showing me just by taking these mild, maybe you're like about to partake in something that you know you shouldn't partake in. And you're like, but that is a pattern that has been established. And they're showing me if you have an abundance of awareness, you're going to realize that is not something about whatever that is for you. You're going to go, something's not right here. And they're showing me the way that find alignment then is just move in a new flow. Because they're showing me alignment is very natural for us as a soul. The ego sees alignment as only linear. Breathing into the hara helps me a lot. Beautiful. Yeah, so the hara line, this center channel, and especially focusing down in those lower energy centers, and breathing into the whole body. Yes, thank you, Corey. Because those 30 trillion cells again, send oxygen into them through your breath. You're directing. And they're showing me too, if you're out of alignment, box breathing could be very effective. That's when you're going to be breathing in. You're going to use the same count. So maybe you start with counting to 3. You're going to breathe in for 3 seconds, hold for 3 seconds, breathe out for 3 seconds, hold for 3 seconds. And then they're showing me too, this is like kind of advanced. So if you're not doing breath work, you might not want to go to this. But with that box breathing I just talked you through, you can count it up like as much as you can go. So you can basically, start out with 3 seconds, then go to 4, then go to 5, then go to, and see as much as you can do it, because they're showing me this is going to create expansiveness and space in the vessel. So breath work and things like using your conscious awareness to really move through the body, things like body scans, are really important. And then also I brought up med beds and these technologies from the star systems that are going to be brought in. They're showing me, remember, all things stem from source. So even though we have these technologies and advancements that are going to help us, we have these abilities to do on our own as well. The name of the book. I wrote a book. I let my guides channel through me called Space Library on Amazon, Brie Marie. But I think you're referring to the Oracle deck we're using, which is Lemurian Star Child Oracle by Leanne Carpenter and Diana. That's not right. I'm going to Diana Cooper, who does the Archangels and Dragon deck. Leanne Carpenter and Michael Cruden. It's going to kick me out in like a minute. Why does TikTok kick us out at an hour? I'm not sure who I'm asking that to. The tech gurus of the world. The one on my table. This one? I only have this one on my table. And then I have the dragons. But I did write a book, you all. And if you want to support me in some way and spend $22 to buy a copy of my book and activate your spiritual gifts and just help a soul on the planet that left the corporate world to do something more aligned. The card is from the Lemurian Starchild Oracle. They look like this. They're so pretty. So much sacred geometry, starseed stuff, Lemurian. If you really resonate with the Lemurian timelines, which if you're here you probably do, that's a good one. Because Lemuria, Golden Atlantis and Golden Lemuria, very present right now. How can some influences stay on all night? I don't know what that means. I'm not really understanding the question. If my corporate job wasn't work from home and light, took me a minute there. I couldn't do it either. Okay, getting kicked out. I'll be right back. From home and light, took me a minute there. I couldn't do it either. Okay, getting kicked out. I'll be right back. I'm back because I didn't want to leave you all hanging. Influencers. So a couple things are coming up. if your corporate job or your job or whatever is something that you feel like isn't the bane of your existence, it's tolerable, I definitely wouldn't encourage you to like leave it. But caveat, if you do have a job that doesn't feel like it's aligned fully and there's some gaps, it might be time to carve out a certain amount of time every day to start exploring what that might be for you. You might call it a hobby. And this is funny too, because they were asking the other day to scan, what was I talking about? Oh, with like my movement practices. Like I love my movement practice, but I have like really no interest in guiding it for others. So they're showing that find the things that are really fulfilling you, and then also be aware of the things that may come up that could be something like a soul aligned career. And then I'm just going to draw one more card to close this. But you know what I'm saying, Justin? You get what I'm saying, right? Okay. Why Wivezilla? Me too. So I feel you. Very much so. But it was a tough choice, and you know, it wasn't an easy choice to integrate in the human. I'll say, like there wasn't. It wasn't easy to go from plenty of resources and money to where is this going to come from? You know. So I'm always very careful with people that are like about to make this decision, the decision that I made, the hard decision that I made. Because be prepared. Just be prepared. And if you're feeling like I just was like, I need to do this. I know there's going to be some challenges along the way, but I need to do this. But I also had a lot of pushback from everyone around me. So, if I could go back in time, which, one day we'll be able to. That's funny too, because in my book I channeled the time travel is absolutely possible, and it's like already being done, which is a trip. But anywho, this is what they want us all to do about alignment. They want us to realize that, so yes, it's a multidimensional experience, and there's like multidimensional earths, and there's multidimensional your souls, and there's multidimensional this table even, and there's multidimensional this crystal even. And so what they're showing me is if you're really struggling with alignment, just realize that there's definitely already a version of you, like you in this body and this version of your soul, I'll say, that is in alignment. So can you start a dialogue with that version of yourself? And what they're showing me too is like to kind of crunch time. You can start tuning into down the line if you want. Like you can tune down that's kind of like what has kept me going, even like after going kind of broke. I know what's coming. I know it very fully. I know it with every cell in my body. My outer reality is going to take some time to catch up with that. I hope that makes sense. Because I'm talking in a very multidimensional way. Okay. So, in closing, I just want to share this chevron amethyst. Because it's just so pretty and just so nice. Buffering. Mm-hmm. You feel it in the heart, and the mind is going to be like, what's happening, you guys? This is not what we talked about. That might be how the ego sounds sometimes. I like to get really friendly with my ego personally. I'm like, oh, that's so cute. And I like to just kind of like conceptualize my ego as this like friend that's like really trying their best to help me, but doesn't quite see where we're going yet. Your ego and you have been working on it. Beautiful. Yeah, it's a process, but I definitely wouldn't encourage you to get to, I know we have ego death. Okay, that's a very real thing, but the ego will be present with us on this earth plane. So it's important that we just learn from it, and not consider it this like enemy. it really is just another being in our life trying its best. Okay, so let's take a few deep breaths together. Just big breaths through the body. This will be in my energy healing membership. I encourage you all over there. And be sure to hydrate. I'll see you all here next Friday or sooner. We shall see. Have a beautiful weekend. Namaste.